Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Last Week Tonight, where we dive headfirst into the political abyss and emerge, hopefully, with a shred of sanity intact. This week, we're talking about a hearing so baffling, so absurd, it makes a clown car look like a well-oiled machine. Buckle up, folks, because it's Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle versus the House Oversight Committee. And trust me, you don't want to miss this showdown. So, Cheadle was called to testify about a rather, shall we say, concerning incident, the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Now you'd think the director of the Secret Service would have some answers about how this happened, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. If only it were that simple. Instead, what we got was a masterclass in evasion, deflection, and good old-fashioned bureaucratic doublespeak. Cheadle danced around questions like a seasoned politician, leaving everyone more confused than when they started. The committee members, bless their hearts, tried to get straight answers. But it was like trying to nail jelly to a wall. Hours went by and still, the truth remained as elusive as ever. News outlets had a field day, dissecting every non-answer and vague statement. Analysts debated whether Cheadle was hiding something or just genuinely clueless. Historically, the Secret Service has been shrouded in mystery, but this took it to a whole new level. As the hearing wrapped up, one thing was clear. We were no closer to understanding what really happened. So, stay tuned, because this story is far from over. We'll be keeping a close eye on this one. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious. What followed was a masterclass in dodging, deflecting, and generally avoiding any semblance of a straight answer. Cheadle, armed with a stack of ongoing investigations and classified information shields, parried every question like a seasoned fencer.
Did the Secret Service have a plan to protect the former president?
That's under investigation.
Was there adequate security at the event?
We're still looking into that.
Did someone leave the door to the Oval Office open again?
I can't comment on an ongoing investigation.
As you can imagine, the committee members were thrilled. Okay, thrilled might be a bit of a stretch. Apoplectic, incredulous, and ready to launch into orbit might be more accurate descriptions. Some, bless their hearts, even mustered the audacity to suggest Cheadle resign.
But Cheadle? Oh no. Cheadle wasn't going anywhere. She'd spent nearly 3 decades with the Secret Service, climbing the ranks, dodging metaphorical bullets, and she wasn't about to let a little thing like a potential national security crisis derail her career trajectory.
Accepting responsibility? Hold your applause. Now, to be fair, Cheadle did eventually utter the words, "I accept responsibility." But what does that really mean in the grand scheme of things? But let's be honest, folks, that phrase, when uttered by someone in her position, often carries about as much weight as a feather in a hurricane. It's a statement that sounds good on paper, but lacks real substance.
Sure, I admitted there were failures, but I also made sure to emphasize that the Secret Service had deployed the requested security assets. We had all the protocols in place, and we followed them to the letter, and that there were a sufficient number of agents present. We had the manpower, the technology, and the strategy. Everything was set up to succeed. It's like saying, yes, the cake fell apart, but we used all the right ingredients and followed the recipe precisely. The problem isn't with the ingredients or the recipe, it's with the execution. And that's where the real issue lies.
Gunman? What gunman? Things got even murkier when the topic of the gunman himself came up. The air was thick with confusion and speculation. Apparently, the Secret Service had identified the individual as suspicious before Trump even took the stage. This raised eyebrows and questions about their protocols.
But, and here's the kicker, despite their initial suspicions, they didn't consider him a threat until, and I'm not making this up, seconds before he allegedly opened fire. This delay in action is baffling. The timing was so close that it almost seemed like a scene from a thriller movie, where the hero realizes the danger just in the nick of time.
So, to be clear, this individual was deemed suspicious enough to warrant attention, but not suspicious enough to, actually do anything about. The inconsistency is staggering. It makes one wonder about the criteria used to assess threats. Was there a breakdown in communication or a flaw in the system? It's enough to make you wonder if the Secret Service handbook was written by the same people who penned the instructions for assembling furniture from a certain Swedish retailer. The absurdity of the situation is almost comical, yet deeply concerning. This incident has sparked a debate about the effectiveness of our security measures and the need for a thorough review of protocols. How many more close calls can we afford before something truly catastrophic happens? The 60-day shuffle. But don't worry everyone, Cheadle has a plan. She's going to conduct a thorough investigation and issue a full report in, wait for it, 60 days.
Yes, you heard that right. 2 whole months to figure out how the Secret Service managed to miss what appears to be a fairly major security threat. It's almost as if they're hoping we'll all be so distracted by then, squirrel, that we'll forget this whole thing ever happened.
Stay tuned, America. So, there you have it, folks. Another week, another masterclass in government dysfunction. Will Cheadle's report actually materialize in 60 days? Will it contain any real answers? Will anyone be held accountable?
Tune in next time for what will undoubtedly be another thrilling episode of As the Government Turns. Until then, try not to think too hard about the people entrusted with protecting our nation's leaders. You might not like what you find,